All right, y'all, back to work. Well, pretty darn good day today. We got that beautiful breakout pullback we talked about in last night's video. Hope you guys made a bunch of money on that this morning. Now, tomorrow may not be as easy as we had today because there's one little hidden clue on these charts tonight that are telling me there are lots of traps waiting for us tomorrow morning. Now, of course, if we know where those traps are, we can make a bunch of money off those traps. But if we don't, we can give back all our gains we've made so far this week. So I want to cover the entire roadmap tonight, where the traps are, how to profit from them, how to avoid them. We're going to cover the entire roadmap in tonight's video. So charts are ready. Enough of the intro. As always, thanks for tuning in and watching my videos here tonight. Let's now dive in and make some money with those traps tomorrow morning. S&P SPY ready to go tonight. NASDAQ triple Qs are always ready. I've got 3 clues, the charts right now, that are telling us where the money is made tomorrow. More importantly, where the traps money is made for tomorrow. First clue is right here on the hourly time frame. I like to use the hourly chart as a directional filter, and we're definitely bullish overall on both the S&P and the NASDAQ. That is our first of 3 clues for tomorrow. Bullish overall. That is a directional filter. Second clue is down on the calendar for tomorrow. There's not a lot of major news this week, but I am watching that jobless claims number tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern time. Remember, anything above 250,000 weekly jobless claims is going to trigger some volatility tomorrow morning. That's kind of a well-known number that if we start getting above that 250, that means the employment market is starting to cool off a little bit. And we know the Fed is watching that very closely for a possible rate cut later on in the month this month. So it might be a nothing burger for tomorrow, but keep an eye on that 250 number tomorrow morning. That's what I'm watching tomorrow with jobless claims. And of course, everyone knows right now we are waiting on more updates regarding trade talks. We know the deadline got pushed back to August the 1st, and it sounds like the EU is moments away from making a big trade deal right now. That could definitely be a market catalyst for tomorrow morning in our trade room. Back to our charts now, though. The final clue, and really that hidden clue, that tells me that something just doesn't seem right now on these charts right now. Let's now dive in to our tick charts here. Remember, timing entries is easier on tick charts. This is a 7,000 tick chart, all the time frames in the upper left-hand corner. And in case you're watching for the first time right now, that moving average right there is the only indicator we use in our trade room. It is the 21 EMA. That's the key to finding lots of bull and bear traps. Now, there's one really big, well, it's not that big. It's kind of a hidden clue right now on these tick charts. So we got that breakout pullback we talked about last night, right? Last night we talked about, I was hoping for that slingshot reversal yesterday, but instead, right, we got that breakout and that pullback. If you watched last night's video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, here's the clue though. Why didn't we go back and retest that high? Usually these breakout pullbacks, they're very easy to trap the bears in and squeeze back up and retest the high. That failed retest, in my eyes, is a really big clue. Something is wrong. Something doesn't quite add up. When we fail to retest these highs easily during the same session, there's 2 scenarios I want to make sure I'm ready for the following day. One of the most common scenarios is a range up here. Oftentimes, whenever we fail to retest that breakout pullback high, we start going into a trading range. Now, in all reality, if you know about this, if you're expecting this for tomorrow, you can profit from it. But if you're not, you're going to get fooled. And I'll talk about why I say that here as we go deeper. Now, what do ranges do? Ranges love to rotate, right? They rotate down, up, down, up, roughly about symmetry, right? The amount below, the amount above, right? We use triangles, the same stuff I teach inside our free trading classes. So I'm expecting a range up here for tomorrow. At least this is one of 2 scenarios I'm watching for tomorrow. So I would love to get below that range and use what's basically a bear trap. Now, bear traps come in lots of shapes and sizes, but we saw a beautiful one today on that breakout pullback. We went up, we pulled back, the bears tried once, the bears tried twice, and we basically used their stops to fuel that move going higher. And again, I expected that move to be a lot more aggressive, but it wasn't, and that's a big clue for tomorrow. So knowing that, I would love to look for that same bear trap right here, get underneath that range, trap those bears in once, higher high twice, and then use their stops. Because remember, guys, if you get stopped out of a short trade, you have to buy your way out. This oftentimes will really rip that thing as it rotates where? As it rotates to the other side of that trading range. Now remember, during range rotation, we can begin to add to our winning trades, right? So if it pops up here, if we start seeing separation off that moving average, look for a higher high. I want to get in, add to my winner right below that low. We call these bear traps and add-ons. So again, one of my favorite traps for tomorrow is a bear trap and of course an add-on underneath that trading range. Now, as we go later on in the video tonight, I want to talk about if we fail off that high. Because again, I think this could be a big trap we make sure we're ready for tomorrow. I want to talk about that move going lower a little bit later on in this video, because I'll tell you right now, if we plan that properly, we can make some money shorting it and make some money buying it back up. But I'm going to warn you right now, if this thing drops off that high, that's going to be filled with traps. I'm going to help you navigate that a bit later on in the video. Now, what if I'm wrong about the range though? What if this thing keeps on marching higher here overnight? Here's where things get, again, a bit more trappy up here, right? Because you saw that measured move, right? That one leg, that two leg. We have the all-time highs up there, right? All right, so I don't want to chase after it going higher. If we keep going higher overnight, look at this range back there. What does that range want to do? Remember, anytime we see range breakouts, what do we look for? We look for breakout pullbacks, right? Just like that range there, and just like that breakout pullback that we traded today, this morning, right? So breakout pullbacks are very common. So if we don't get that range up here, if we keep on grinding higher here, all I'm going to do is resist the temptation to buy high up there and start looking for ways to basically trade a breakout pullback. I'd love to use those prior highs around that range and look for that same bear trap and add-on, right? So bears once, bears twice, trap those bears in, and then as we go higher, keep on adding to that winner, right? Remember, when it comes to adding to your winners, you always want that separation off that moving average. I can't emphasize that enough, because separation equals strength. So bear trap and add-on. So again, if I'm wrong about that range right now and we keep slowly marching higher, all I'm going to do is avoid that temptation to buy high. I'm going to wait for that nice deep pullback, and the goal is get below the moving average, trap the bears in, add to our winner, and we'll use some targets, of course, back to retest the high and definitely up to that all-time high. Now, I want to talk about if I'm wrong. If we double top right now, this could easily roll all the way back down, because that range back there, that range, it's going to want to rotate. So we're going to cover that in 2 seconds. Before we do that though, let's slow down for 2 seconds, because I know most of you guys and gals watching right now, you guys know these patterns. You're making money with these already. I got a ton of emails today. You guys make a bank off that breakout pullback we talked about in last night's video. But if you're watching for the first time right now, this might be a brand new strategy for you, a brand new language I'm talking about. Don't you worry though, I teach this entire roadmap, the entire system in my free trading course. In fact, I have a ton of examples of all the entry patterns I'm talking about in tonight's video. You're gonna love it. The bottom line is, guys, the markets are way too good right now not to be making consistent profit. So what I'll do is I'll put a link up top here for you, upper right-hand corner. Hit that little link that popped up right there and take that free trading course, because the strategy I teach in that video series will teach you a simple trick we use in our members trade room that literally tells us exactly where the winning trades are gonna be. You're gonna laugh when you see how simple that technique is. More importantly though, we make our money by timing entries. So I want to teach you my 4 favorite entry setups so you can time better entries, get your confidence back in your trading. Guys, if you're still missing the best entries right now, if you've lost your confidence in your current trading strategy, What are you waiting for? Pause the video, hit that link that popped up there, and watch that free trading course. Everyone loves all the trade examples I include in that short video series. The best part is it's completely free for you. Keep in mind too, folks, I'm going to put all the important links you need to learn the roadmap down below this video in the description. Definitely start first with the free video course. Most folks start making money all on their own, all from that free video class. So start there first, learn the setups, get your confidence back, timing entries. Once you learn to time better entries, everything gets so much easier. Keep in mind too, guys, I put a ton of charts and videos and mindset stuff on my Twitter feed, my X feed during the day. If you're on Twitter X platform, give me a follow. Again, all the details you'll need to learn more, hopefully earn a lot more, are linked up for us in the description of that YouTube video. So hit that link up. You're going to love that free trading course. Okay, so we've talked about a couple different situations. If we keep grinding higher, I'm not chasing after it. I'm buying nice deep two-legged pullbacks, trapping bears in, and back up we go again. Keep your eyes open though. Keep your eyes on a range up here, because that range, we can rotate off of that low. This would be an easy way to make some money. I want to talk about now though, I want to talk about if this thing rolls back over, right? Because that range below us, I'll tell you, there's something about this chart right now. The fact that we didn't go back and retest the high right now, it makes me think that that range back there might be a lot more important than we think here. Okay, so how would I short something if it begins to roll back lower again? If it really dumps off of that high, how would I short it? And then more importantly, how would I buy it, right? How would I buy it going all the way back down again? Because in all reality, that the buys down bottom could be one of our biggest winning trades of the week here. Let's talk about that right now over on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, boy, look at that NASDAQ chart right now. That strong run up. This is a really big clue on the NASDAQ. Strong run up, they pull back, they retest the high. I'll tell you, whenever we retest the high like that, with that big red candle like that, that's a lot of resistance up there. So we're definitely bullish overall, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if we keep knocking our head on this thing, get whacked back down again pretty good. So let's talk about here on that NASDAQ. And by the way, before we dive into the NASDAQ charts here, if you're enjoying this video right now, please help me grow this channel by hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I know we're busy people right now. I know life is busy, summertime season. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching my stuff. So thank you guys so much for the likes, the subs, all the ongoing support here in the comment section below. Let's now dive right in here right now on the tick charts. Are you seeing this too? Are you seeing this chart right now? This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. Again, what makes perfect sense, right? This makes perfect sense. There's that range right there. There's that breakout pullback. There's that bears once, bears twice. That makes sense, right? What doesn't make sense is why are we not retesting? In my experience, almost 20 years doing this, why are we not snapping back up to retest the high? Yeah, something smells funny, right? Something smells funny. Okay, so knowing that, I talked earlier about a lot of times when this happens, it's a range up here. So keep your eyes open for that range. And again, if we keep on marching higher here, all I'm going to do is keep looking to buy those deep pullbacks, breakout pullbacks. Okay, so next question is, how do we short this thing back down? How do we buy it back up again? So the first things first is this trading range right here is a big deal because we know that ranges love to rotate. The amount above, right? The amount below. If this thing begins to slip and fall and we start seeing, this is very important, we start seeing separation off the moving average, the way you short this is by getting in short above prior swings. All right, above prior swings. Now, this is a counter trend trade, which means for me, it's a half size position. It's a quarter size position. We do not, well, at least I don't, right? You can do whatever you want, but I don't like to allocate full contract sizes, full positions on counter trend trades, right? So take that information with what you want. If we're really lucky, there'll be a channel off that low, up around that high, right? You smell what I'm stepping in right there? Beautiful bull trap. Most important thing though is if you want to sell a bull market, you've got to sell above a prior swing. And the trick is that separation, right? It'll run lower and begin to separate away from that moving average, right? That's the big clue. Then we know, okay, now plan the entry, pop it up, strong red candle, just like I teach in our free video classes. That's a signal, back down again. Okay, so remember, rotation above, below, there's our target. I want to be getting into this trade short well before I reach that pendulum swing on the opposite side. Now let's talk about if this thing really drops for us. If it drops for us, even though we're overall bullish, what's going to happen is all of that momentum is going to want to pull back. The bears are going to want to pull back, breakout pullback, and they're going to want to retest that low before we resume the overall bullish trend. Does that make sense? It's very important we understand that if we're bullish overall, but we have a very strong move against that overall bullish direction, again, all that momentum going lower is going to want to pop up, retest, and then resume the overall bullish trend. So if you understand that dynamic, right, that principle of how momentum works, now let's talk about timing the entry. So we find our bull trap off the high, or maybe something was right and it collapses. Whatever the case may be, watch very closely here. The key will be where the entry pattern sets up on the bounce off of that low. The moving average comes down. Now, in the first scenario, we're going to get a nice, beautiful two-try bear trap like we saw this morning, late morning, early afternoon. We're going to pull back. The bears will try once, right? They'll try twice, and we'll use our stops to fuel that move back up into that range again. There's a very good chance there's a lot of buyers down there and we just whoop and run right back up again, right? No problem whatsoever. And if we do, remember, if this thing rips and squeezes back up again, remember that as we go higher, if I start seeing separation off that moving average, shallow pullback, separates off moving average, higher high in price, that's that same bear trap and that add-on, all right? Okay, so bear trap off the low. Now again, I want you to think about this. It's a bear trap, nice and low, bear trap, add-on. Now let's play this out again. Now we roll lower, but now we bounce up hard, right? Now there's so many buyers down here, it bounces up really hard now. Now, very important, one try for the bears, two try for the bears. Is this a good place to take that bear trap? No, it's not. Why? Because my risk is there, my reward is right, in this case, is right there. That risk reward profile is not going to attract the big money, the people who move these markets. Bunch of rookies will take that trade. So remember the dynamic. The dynamic is we roll lower, all that momentum was going to want to retest that low, right? I do not want to be buying high as it bounces going higher here. So what do? If we get that big bounce off that low now we start looking for what's basically a V bottom, right? A V bottom. Look at trend line. Off the highs, we bring that trend line down around that low. And the most important thing about this scenario is, this big bounce up, is we're buying underneath prior swings. Okay? Must. If it bounces up, we need to buy under prior swings. Why? Because now, how is my risk reward profile now? If I buy above that high, my risk reward profile stinks. But if I buy below a low right now as that moving average comes down, now I've got my signal candle closing above the moving average. You'll learn that technique in our free video classes. And now I can be firmly in the green on that trade before I get back up above that high and have to deal with the potential of that rolling back down again. This is a protection strategy. It's a protection mechanism, right? It's a protection game plan if it bounces back up. The bottom line, though, is if it bounces hard, my focus tomorrow will be getting in underneath prior swings and taking a very small, quick first target, getting rid of risk, and hopefully it was for no reason at all. Hopefully it keeps on ripping and we all get paid going higher here. But again, do not be surprised, though, if it bounces up, tries to keep going lower and then rolls back over again. Meanwhile, you got your money of the trade, you got your risk off of that trade. Now, at this point, how do we trade a retest of that low? Because in all reality, if you watch my videos, you know that retest trades are oftentimes our biggest winners. The third scenario, right? The third kind of game plan now as we go lower. We get that big drop down again. We trap the bears in once, twice. Again, it's a nice quick bear trap, right? It's a nice quick bear trap. You're buying nice and low, right? I take that 1-to-1. I get rid of that risk. It's a winning trade. But again, ranges. Yeah, they love to hold the underbellies. They love to hold the edges of the range. On that one now, they rip right back down again. Now, this move down is going to feel like the world is coming to an end. It's going to feel like we're going to be dropping for a couple days in a row. We're probably not. Remember, we're way high up right now on the hourly time frame. The last 2 weeks going straight up on the hourly time frame. If this thing retests that low now, buyers are going to come in and buy as much as they can possibly afford on their account because we get a chance now to buy nice and low again. So tomorrow morning, if that thing rolls over tomorrow, the news media says, this time it's different. It's not different this time. It's never different this time. The scenario might be different headlines, but the way that human beings react to this is never different. We're all wired the same way today as we were wired hundreds of years ago. This stuff repeats over and over again. So yes, the situation might be different, right? But the way these markets behave is not different because human beings are no different than our great-great-great-grandparents were hundreds of years ago. Anyways, off a soapbox now, when I go back to retest this low now, again, what's gonna happen is a bunch of rookies are gonna chase after this. Okay, they're gonna chase after it, right? And again, it could be anywhere below that low. As long as I take out that low, it could be anywhere below that low here. What do we do here? We trap them in again. Basically, at this point, it's a two-try failure, a two-try bear trap. Bears once, bears twice. I love, and by the way, I can be a lot more aggressive on this trade because now I know where that low is. Now I know that anybody who's sold up here, I know where their profit targets are. I know they're buying down here. This is an area, by the way, where everyone is a buyer, right? Why is everyone a buyer? Because think about this, right? Anybody who sells up here, right? They're buying where? They're taking their profit. They're buying their way out of that short trade. Buyers are going to buy down here because that's what buyers do when we're bullish overall on the hourly time frame. And once these bears get trapped in, right? Once those stops get hit, you need to know this by now, right? When you get stopped out of a short trade, you are also a buyer, right? Everyone is buying in this situation. That's why these work so well. That's why retest trades are one of my favorites, right? We joke around on Trade Room saying, when I die someday, on my headstone will say, trade the retest, trade the retest. Anyway, I'm kidding with you guys. Now, retest trade, bear trap, add-on, and I'll tell you, if there's one trade to leave a runner, it's a retest trade. It's a retest trade. And if you understand the dynamic here of how ranges work, if you understand that ranges want to rotate, the amount below, the amount above, you'll know exactly now where to leave that final target. And if you have to, put your stop at the point of entry, leave the office, and leave a couple targets to run. You'll come back to a nice big paycheck when that rotation finishes up tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon. All right, guys? So again, like I said earlier, something appears to be wrong on these charts right now. And because of that, I think, okay, there'll probably be some traps for tomorrow. If we know where the traps are, we can bank on those traps. If we don't know where they are, though, we'll get caught in those traps and give back all of our gains. Those are the scenarios I'm watching for tomorrow. That's the game plan for tomorrow morning in our trade room. Now, speaking of the trade room, 8 o'clock Eastern time, guys, the place to be in the trade room. The easiest way, start making consistent money in these markets to learn and trade along every morning at the opening bell. As always, I'll put all the important links you need to learn the strategy down in the description of the video. Start first with the free video classes. You're gonna love all those trade examples I include in that short video series. Then come join me in the morning trade room, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll do it together. In the meantime, guys, hope you learned a bunch in tonight's video. Hope you earn a bunch on those traps tomorrow morning. Be well, be nice to each other, and you better be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.